from the Bath Township Public Library, and it is week 5 of our Tales and Tales summer reading program, and this week is Going on Safari. So for our teen craft this week, we are going to be making elephant magazine silhouette art. So this is kind of my sample. So when you pick up your kit from the library, you will have your elephant silhouette on cardstock. You will have another black piece of cardstock. You will have a foam paintbrush or a small foam. You will have a little bag that has a little sample cup of glue and then like a little stick to stir it. And you will also have like an old magazine or old comic book or something like that in there also. Now, what else are you going to need? You are going to need some scissors, and you are going to need some water. And you are probably also going to need a scrap paper or something to do your work on so you don't get glue on your table. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is you are going to cut out your elephant silhouette. Now you can do this kind of art project really with any picture you want. If you go online, you'll see all sorts of magazine silhouette art. So you can do other animals, you can do like school logos. I've seen like college mascots and stuff like that done. So I really only did the elephant just because it goes with our theme of safari. And hey, everybody likes elephants, right? At least I do. So once again, it doesn't have to be super perfect because you are going to cover it with your strip. So, you know, just cut out the elephant as best you can. You know, obviously you still want it to look like an elephant, so don't get too crazy. All right, so once you have your elephant cut out, you can just kind of toss the scraps aside. Now we're going to finish our other cutting. So this is a really great project, especially for the library, because at the end of every year we get rid of our old magazines. We give them away to anybody who wants them, or sometimes, you know, being the programming librarian, I snag some that look fun. And magazines, old magazines or old comic books are always great for crafts and fun things to do. So it's a great fun art project to, you know, do with something you may already have around the house. So we're going to want to take some nice, colorful looking pictures. And you want to make sure when you're cutting your strips, like I'm not going to want to cut them that way because you, as you can see, I'll put it on the white so it's easier for you to see. That's not going to go the full length of the elephant when, you know, he's, you know, from his back to the bottom of his feet. So you're going to want to cut your strips this way. Now, you can use a paper cutter and have them be very precise and all the same length. But it's really okay if they're not. You can overlap them a little bit too when you're laying them down. So, I mean, if they're not all perfect width, it's totally okay. And you can kind of, you know, you can make them really as thin or as thick as you want. It all depends on, you know, how many strips you want to cover your elephant, how colorful and different you want it to be. So I'm going to do one more from this, and then I'm going to try to find something maybe with some different colors in it. So it's kind of fun too if you mix up your, you know, your different colors. Let's find something, you know, this one's got some nice green. So kind of find some stuff with some different colors. But yeah, I mean, you're going to probably want them maybe 1/2 inch or a little bit thinner, I would say. But it's really up to you, however long you want the project to take. You want it to take a long time and to be very precise, you can cut them super thin. That is okay. So let's see. And then let's see, this page here has some good orange, so I think I'm going to cut some of this one just for something different. And I'm cutting this strip really thin, probably thinner than I want, but like I said, you kind of end up overlapping them when you glue them down, so if some are a little bit thicker or thinner than others, it's okay. You're probably gonna want about at least 20 strips. And if it gets to the point where you don't have enough, you can just cut more. So not a huge deal. All right, so we're gonna stick with that amount for right now. So I'm just gonna kind of push those to the side. Now, you're gonna get your bag out here, and this is why you're gonna wanna have some scrap paper down, because this part can get kind of messy. So you can see there's a really long toothpick in there. These are taped closed just because I was really worried that, you know, if somebody obviously did not want this to break open in the bag and ruin everything and have glue everywhere. So that might take some doing to get that open. All right, so this is just Elmer's white glue that we buy in giant jugs. Now to do this, you can also buy like Mod Podge, which is in the stores, which is more expensive. But I always just kind of make my own. So you're just gonna get a little bit of water to make your own Mod Podge and pour some in your glue here. And take your stick and you're just gonna kind of stir it up. So it's just kind of watery. So you just wanna make sure it's mixed really well. So it's just kind of really runny glue. All right, once that's mixed, you're gonna put your elephant down here. You're going to take your foam brush. Now you could also use like a Q-tip, your finger, a sponge. Really, I use the foam brushes because they're really cheap, and I mean, you can wash them afterwards, but if you use a nice paintbrush, you're probably just gonna end up ruining it by sticking it in glue, even if you try to wash it really well. So better to use, like I said, a cheap brush. What works really well also is like those little makeup triangle foamy things that you can get like in bulk at Meijer. Those will work. So as you probably noticed, I've already spilled. So had to take some time to clean that up. Might want to keep baby wipes on hand. They're really good for getting glue off your fingers and off of surfaces. And this time now I have my glue thing on some paper towel. All right, so you're going to take your strips here, get them ready. Now first you're going to dip your sponge in your nice watery glue. You can kind of start at either end, and you're going to lay a nice layer on your elephant. So it's nice and damp. You're gonna take your strip here and you're gonna make sure it goes the whole length. You want it to go off the edge. That's totally fine. And then you're just gonna take another strip. You might have to like re-wet because, you know, it's not just straight glue, there is water. And then you're gonna lay, you know, whatever color side you want. And you're just gonna lay another strip. And like I said, you're gonna wanna overlap it a little bit. Just like that. That'll make it really easy, much easier when you're cutting. You also want to make sure you're not gluing down to your paper. You know, you want it to stick to the elephant, not to your table or whatever surface you're working on. And we're gonna, you know, you're just gonna want to keep kind of dipping and laying your strips, kind of however the colors are, you know, whatever order, pattern you want. You know, so kind of pick out how you want the colors to look. You want something brighter. You know, you could alternate color. I mean, you could do like an actual pattern if you wanted to do more like black and white, or get some more solids going. Doesn't really matter. Kind of, it's your project. It's how you want it to look. And so you're just going to kind of go along your whole elephant. Like I said, you're going to kind of want to stick it down and make sure it's not, you know, kind of, and then once it comes down here, you are going to want to make sure that it's like sticking also to the foot down there. Because you want it to be all over your elephant. It's just easier to do it strip by strip like that. And it's okay to put some glue on top also to kind of hold it down, hold it to the one next to it since you are overlapping them. So as you can see, I'm almost to the end here. So I've covered, you can no longer see my elephant. He's gonna be covered all the way to the tip of the tail. So you're just gonna keep going. Make sure you continue to overlap them, you know, where they're not gonna slide apart and show space between them, because that doesn't look as good either. Almost done. One more short one. And we'll do that piece right there. And I actually might just tear that off because I don't really need it to be that long. There we go. So now you're going to dip kind of your brush one last time and kind of go over the whole thing very, very gently, because otherwise you're gonna like pull them all apart. But you want to do a nice even layer, like, you know, especially where, you know, if you can remember where the feet were, because you want, sometimes you didn't get enough glue down there. You want to make sure it's stuck all to the feet, all to the trunk. You're also going to kind of want to make sure, just kind of peel your elephant up really gently. That just to kind of be certain, you know, like I said, this one just came up, pat it back down. But, you know, just to be certain that you didn't end up gluing anything to your scrap paper or your table or whatever you're using. You kind of smooth everything down here with your fingers if need be. Kind of mine separated right there, so smooth them out. And as you can see, it's all wet. And so what are we going to do with this? Well, the nice thing about doing this craft at home right now is you are going to take this and you are going to set it somewhere and leave it alone for like 24 hours. And it's actually going to take quite a while to dry. So you're going to leave it alone for a nice long time. And then even after it's dry, what you are probably going to do when it's fully dry is then take it and get some nice big heavy books. Maybe put another piece of scrap paper just over the top, but you want to make sure that it's absolutely fully dry because you don't want it to stick to your paper at all. And flatten it. And let it flatten for another good few hours. But once again, don't put anything on top of it until it is fully dry, or it will stick to that stuff and it will be ruined. And it will take, like I said, it does take a while to dry. So we are going to like set that aside. And of course, with the magic of video, look, we have one that's fully dry. Yay! So obviously this one is one that was fully dry and I already cut around it. And so the strips would have all been hanging off, just kind of like flapping off. So you just flip it over and you're just gonna then trim, take your scissors, and you can see here where like some of the print still is because I didn't get it super close. But you're just gonna trim all the way around your elephant and get all those pieces that are hanging off cut off. So then when you turn it back over, you just have the outline of your elephant. So after that, you don't have to use your liquid glue, but that's what I'm gonna use because that's what I have here. You can really use any kind of glue for this part. So you are gonna put a nice layer of glue all over the back of your elephant. And like I said, this you don't have to do the liquidy glue. You could just use normal glue. So you're going to take that, and then you're going to take it very nicely and put it in the middle of your black piece of, oh, I probably shouldn't have got that all wet. That's why it might be better not to use the super liquidy glue when you're gluing it to your cardstock here. But you're going to glue it right to the middle of your black cardstock, so it's almost like a nice matted piece of work. And there you have your silhouette art piece made from magazine strips. And it looks really cool. So obviously I used some Spider-Man. So, you know, if you did like a Spider-Man head, that would have looked really cool, or like a Spider-Man logo. But you can really do kind of any general outline. The simpler the outline, really the easier it is to do, and definitely the easier to kind of cut around it after it's all dry. And that is our project for this week. So be sure to pick up your Craft to Go kit from the library and make your own elephant silhouette.